Hello guys and welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for the match preview of AC Milan against Empoli. Match will be played tomorrow, April 23rd at 3 p.m. Italian time at the San Siro. It is round 33 of the Serie A season. Not many games remaining, and as always, each game is more and more important to grab the 3 points. We are facing a very bottom of the table team this weekend. Empoli, a team that really has nothing really going on for them this year. They are above the relegation zone, so that's good for them. That's their main priority this season, of course, to stay safe in the Serie A for next season and not be relegated to the Serie B. Like I said, they're pretty safe as it stands, 5 points ahead of Crotone. However, really, it hasn't been the season that really Empoli wanted this year. Of course, they haven't been scoring a lot of goals, only 20 goals this season, which is the worst attack in the Serie A. There's lots of games in which they weren't able to even score one goal, and that pretty much sums up their statistics and their position in the league table. At the same time, they have conceded a lot of goals, 50 to be precise. So like I said before, it is a season to forget. However, it seems like they still don't want to leave anything up for grabs for the other teams. Like we saw last weekend, Empoli came out with a fight against Fiorentina. And even though they have won the match in controversial circumstances with a late penalty shot, you can still see that this team will give it to the teams that are placed higher in the table. And that is why Milan will need to really challenge this team with great precaution and make sure that they walk away with the 3 points tomorrow, Sunday, April 23rd. Speaking about Milan, I'm still pretty ecstatic about the whole result of last weekend in the Derby della Madonnina against Inter, where we're just seconds away from losing it. It was the last play of the match, and Zapata, out of nowhere with a goal. Really, I was just happy about that whole thing. The result made me happy. I know a win would have been the better result, but just the circumstance in which we gained that point was like a win to me. So I was very happy throughout the week. It didn't ruin my week as it would have if we had lost that game. So very happy about that, but we need to continue down this road. Like I said, there are a few games remaining, including this Empoli game. There are about 5-6 games remaining. So like I said, this is definitely a game that we need to win. We cannot afford to drop points, especially against these teams that have not been doing good all season round. And like I said before, Empoli are just one of those teams. They're not in the relegation zone, but they're very near it. It seems like they're safe for the moment, but they still want to get some results, and that is why we need to beware of them at all costs. They have only won 2 games away from home this season, and let's not forget that last time we played them this season at their home ground, I believe we won that game 4-1, so it was a real killing for them, and hopefully we'll be able to replicate exactly that tomorrow. But let's speak about the formations without further ado, because there are a few changes from what we saw against Inter. Donnarumma is expected to start in net. Calabria, Zapata, Romagnoli, and De Sciglio will make up the back 4. So not really any changes there in terms of the defense. In the midfield, we will see the return of Pasalic after that suspension there. And he was not able to play against Inter due to it, but he will be returning to the lineup, so that's very good to see. He will be taking Kuchka's place there on the right side of that midfield. Jose Sosa will be playing once again in the middle with Mati Fernandez on the left side. And up front, we see Suso, Lapadula, and Deulofeu. And many people are probably asking themselves, is there a typo? There's a mistake in that front 3. Where is Bacca? How come Lapadula is actually being chosen this time? Well, it finally seems to be that Lapadula will be playing in this game. Of course, we still have to wait and see until tomorrow, until the final decisions regarding the lineups are actually made. But if I'm not mistaken, this exactly, Bonaventura was actually on that left side. But in terms of Lapadula and Suso, both of these players played against Empoli in the first time, and we had a very good game because of that. So, I'm expecting very good things if Lapadula does play. This is once again a chance that is being given by Montella for him to play, get some goals, maybe convince him to get more starts in these little games that remain. So Lapadula needs to take this chance and make sure to get some goals in order to convince Montella. For the rest of the lineup, like I said, the defense, no changes. The midfield, people might say, why is Locatelli not playing? I personally, I don't know. I think it's something that, like I said last week with Montella, it's something that he sees on a weekly basis. Who's the player that's more fit to play? Nonetheless, I still do think that Locatelli will be making an appearance in this game like he has in the past few games where Jose Sosa was the primary starter. He would always start, and then at some point during the second half, Locatelli would come in to replace him. So I'm expecting and predicting the same thing to go on here in these next few games where Locatelli might not be able to start, but chances are that he will be seeing some playing time nonetheless. There, Fernandez on the left side. I think he's a very good, worker. He's a very hard worker, especially in that midfield. And Fernandez, he's not been doing too bad, but then again, if we had Bonaventura, I would definitely play him instead in that position. But we have to make the most out of the players that we have available. Also, on a little side note, I just wanted to mention that Montolivo has been called up for this game. And I know a lot of people are probably, getting up their chair and they're saying, what? Did I just hear Montolivo's back? He's probably not going to be playing. He just got the call up. Not quite sure if he's going to be seeing some playing time from now on until the end of the season. But, to do respect to him, he's back in shape, finally fit to play again. He went through a very lengthy injury, and I think this is not really the time to attack any players or, give them some bad vibes, because every player deserves a chance to do good. Every player deserves that chance to actually, play and prove to the coach and to the fans that they are worthy of the Milan shirt, and especially with these 5-6 games remaining now in the Serie A. We have to definitely make sure that we don't, attack these particular players or anyone in general. So that is about it for the lineups and my thoughts on what I think of it. But let's speak about what you guys think now. What do you guys think about the lineup in general? Do you think it is the right lineup to go in against Empoli? Are you guys happy that Lapadula is taking Bacca's place there in the front? Are you guys maybe a bit skeptic about that? Would you guys prefer to see Bacca given more chances or not? I know a lot of you are probably saying it's about time. But I still want to know your decisions or your thoughts about the whole lineup, or if you would like to see something different in general, maybe in the midfield. Let me know exactly your thoughts in the comment section, and also let me know your predictions for this game. I'll be reading those out as well, so make sure to leave your score lines and goal scorers if you guys wish. So let's get right into the comments. By the way, I did want to mention one last thing regarding games are currently being played, games in which involve our direct competitors for the Europa League. Atalanta played their game earlier today against Bologna. They actually won 3-2. It was a pretty crazy game. I actually watched it, and Bologna had some very good chances to tie the game, but at the end, Atalanta got the 3 points. So we have to make sure to add on to that pressure and get 3 points ourselves tomorrow. And in the meantime, Inter is playing Fiorentina in Fiorentina, and that game is still leveled at 0-0. And let's not forget that Inter haven't won in their last 4 games, so they're definitely going to want to pick up the 3 points a day. I'll keep you guys updated throughout the course of the video if something happens. But let's get into your comments here. Let's see what you guys have to say regarding Milan Empoli. Dwayne says, what many Milan fans don't get why Bacca always usually starts is because his wages are high and he is a qualified champion since he has won a European Cup in the last 5 years. I also spoke about this quite some times actually. A lot of people were asking me, why is Bacca even starting when he's not performing well, when he's missing so many chances? Why does Montella still give him the opportunity to, get himself on the score sheet or actually get some playing time, whereas Lapadula is just waiting for his opportunity. And I did state this over and over again. My personal opinion is because of exactly what Dwayne mentioned. His wages are higher. Milan is paying the money for him to actually play games and not stay on the bench. I know it is a bad philosophy. Personally, not the philosophy that I would go in if I was a coach or the president of Milan, but that's that. Money talks, especially in sports nowadays. That it's a business. It's not only about the sport itself. So unfortunately, that's exactly what the situation is, considering back in Lapadula. But I'm happy that Lapadula, for example, tomorrow will most likely get the chance to play. And hopefully he'll get some goals, convince Montella that, he deserves more starts from now on until the end of the season. I know this is a whole completely different topic that I don't really want to dig deep in regarding Baca, but personally, I believe that this is the last season for him at Milan. I think that there will be some changes in the summer regarding our striker, and he will be replaced. So chances are we might be even seeing Lapadula more simply because of that. But it's all up to grabs, really. It's all up for grabs for Montella. He's the one that decides who's going to be playing. But I don't want to speak too much about the transfers just yet. But that's my take on Baca. By the way, for people that are asking me about news regarding certain players, the club, the takeover, future projects going on with Milan, rest assured, I will be covering everything next week. I know it's been a very crazy few weeks. Maybe the past 2 months have been very, very crazy for me with school and everything, but I'm finally going to be finished next week. So make sure to stay tuned to Rossoneri TV. A lot more videos will be coming out speaking directly about these topics. So make sure you stay tuned to Rossoneri TV. Dimitri says, we need those 3 points if we want to stay ahead of Inter. We just have to play in Europe next season. Completely agree with that. I am Nick says he's happy for Lapadula, but he's disappointed that Deschillo is starting. Well, the thing is, Antonelli has not been deemed fit to actually be called up for this game. So he's not even gonna be on the bench, Antonelli. And what remains there is Vangioni playing on that left side, which should be a very good option as well. We saw a lot of Vangioni this season, more than what we should have seen from him. But, once again, Deschillo, yes, he hasn't had very good matches in the past few games. Personally, I would probably play Vangioni, to be honest with you. My main player is Antonelli for that left side, but since he's not able for this match, he has not been called up, I would play either Vangioni in that position. I would probably play Vangioni instead of Deschillo there. So I do agree with you, but let's see what Deschillo could do in this game. Hopefully, he'll have a better game altogether there on that left side. Dwayne says, good that Montolivo's back. He's a better captain than Deschillo. Dean Darko says, ciao Gio, Locatelli must start over Sosa for me. What about Kuchka? Forza Milan. Well, that's a very good question you asked there about Kuchka. Personally, there's a lot of debate going on, and I've been mentioning it even last month, if you guys recall. Montella questions himself sometimes, why does he have to always start Kuchka and not play other players? Personally, I see Pasalic as a better technical player than Kuchka, not defensively, but maybe going forward he has a bit more, technicality in him than Kuchka. But I definitely understand some people's positions where they say, Kuchka needs to start every game. He's the guy that wins the balls in the midfield. He's the guy that restarts our attacks. And I completely agree with that. But yet again, this goes back to what I said a few weeks ago regarding Kuchka. And I said, if we had better players, I would probably not play him. Because, yes, it's nice to have a ball winner like him in the midfield. I would personally prefer a regista playing that could, create chances for the attack, but could also defend and play a bit deeper at times. That's the sort of player that I really like to have in the midfield. But as for Kuchka, he's a very good player, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure we can have an upgrade over him maybe this summer. That's my take on it. But Kuchka definitely is a worthy player. He's a player that I personally think contributed so much to Milan's success this season, especially in the midfield. But my personal opinion is that I'm sure we could even find better players than that. Tajada says, before I reflect on our lineup, Gio, I missed this discussion window so much due to my academic duties. Good to be back here after 2.5 months. I'm glad you're back as well. Like I said before, myself, I've been very busy as well with university. I'm about to graduate, so yeah, it's been very, very tough past few months. But like I said before, make sure you subscribe to the channel because there's gonna be a lot more frequent videos coming out next week and for the weeks to come. And I'll make sure to speak about topics that you guys want me to talk about or discuss about concerning players, the team status, future projects this summer, everything concerning that. In terms of some score lines, Jeffrey says 4-0 Milan. He says Suso's going to score 2 goals. Lapadula and Sosa will score the others. Electrical Drift says Gio, was Cutrone called up? Yes, he was. Marco Wang says, I followed the Atalanta Bologna match earlier. It was so intense just from listening to the Rai Diretta. Bologna is so close to draw. Atalanta to give us an edge. We have to go there for the 3 points tomorrow. Yeah, Marco, I saw the game. Like you said before, very interesting game, very exciting game. And I think Bologna could have tied it, but at the end of the day, Atalanta got another 3 very important points for themselves. Ciao Vito, hopefully everything's good for you. Fiorentina has just scored. A lot of people are saying in the comments Fiorentina has scored, so thank you guys for keeping me updated with that. I wasn't paying attention to the score lines, but those are very, very good news. Very good news to see Fiorentina scoring. And, you know, maybe if they end up losing Inter, we can even extend our gap with them tomorrow with 3 points. And pretty much the European chances for Inter will be going down the drain, really, if they lose. If they lose tonight and we win tomorrow, they're gonna have a very hard time to make up some ground on the teams above them. Sultan Minzuma says, out of curiosity, how do you rate Teshio? Personally, I think he didn't finish the sentence there. But anyways, Teshio, I have very mixed feelings about him. For anyone that has been following the channel for a very long time, I think you guys all know that I have very mixed feelings concerning Teshio. You know, he's a guy that, like Milan, is very inconsistent. Could come on, could have a good performance. I know he's capable of much, much better, like we saw back at the Euros. You know, he did a very good job with Italy. I was very impressed with how he was playing. But then again, you know, it just depends on if it's his day or not. You know, sometimes he's capable of playing good, and other times he's like the worst player on the team. So very inconsistent, but overall I have very mixed feelings about him. I know there's a few people that question me all the time, what do you think about Teshio getting sold potentially to Juve? Personally, I think that we have a lot of fullbacks, and I know that we have players that could replace Teshio. Like I said before, Antonelli is my personal favorite. Personally, I value him better than Teshio. And if not, we also have Vangioni there that contributes a lot more going forward than Teshio, in my opinion. On the other side, we have Abate and Calabria on the right side. So I think we're pretty much set as far as the fullbacks go. At the same time, it's not like I want to get rid of Teshio at all costs. It's not like I want to just give him up like that. If we do have to sell him, you know, I still want something pretty decent for him. I just don't want to give him up because he is an Italian international. He is a guy that, you know, could have a very good future nonetheless. Maybe it's just a certain period of time that he's not capable of getting anything done. But that's pretty much my take on Teshio. Very mixed feelings. I always get these types of questions, and I always, you know, I have trouble responding with a very straightforward answer when it comes to Teshio. Aniket says, Gio, is this going to be a high-scoring match like last time and the Palermo matches? I like Bacca and Lapadula together. Well, it seems like the only times we really see Bacca and Lapadula together is whenever whenever we really need goals, like we saw against Inter there, where we needed goals, and Montella decided to put Bacca, Lapadula, Suso, Delufeo, and Ocampos all together there to try and find a goal. But at the end of the day, it was two defenders that scored. Trying to make sense out of that. By the way, some people are giving me updates. It's 1-1, so Inter have already equalized it. Still a long game. But yeah, it could definitely be a high-scoring match. I think it could. But we still have to be careful. Like I said before, Empoli is not a team that we could just walk over them. They have shown very good things last weekend against Fiorentina. But at the same time, you know, I understand they don't score a lot. We have to definitely keep a clean sheet. If we could keep a clean sheet tomorrow, there's absolutely no reason as to why we cannot win the game. And they don't have that many, you know, threatening options, but we should still be wary. Like any other team in the Serie A, they could definitely pull upsets. Maybe just a few more comments before I sign off. Tajada says Deshillo is also, according to me, a 5 out of 10. Me too, I have mixed feelings. Aniket, happy birthday to you. Thank you so much for always coming on. One of our most loyal supporters. So happy birthday to you, Aniket. And I definitely hope you had a very good day. And yes, it is also Kaka's birthday. So, yeah. Chrissy says, Joe, what do you think? Will Milan get Aubameyang? News are saying it could happen. Like I said before, don't want to speak too much about transfer rumors in this video. I will be covering it all next week. But from what I remember seeing, Dortmund won at least 60 million for Aubameyang. I think it's possible. You know, if we do sell Bacca for at least even 25 million, I don't think he's worth 30 million anymore, to be honest with you. But if we could get at least 25 million for Bacca, given the fact that we already have 130 to 140 million euros to spend, you know, I could definitely see Milan splashing the cash on Aubameyang. It's possible, but let's not forget that it's still April, and from now till July, there's still a lot of time. There's still lots of rumors that you're going to be seeing circulating in the newspapers. So, yeah, we definitely have to wait and see for that, but definitely a possibility. I don't say that it's impossible, but we're gonna have to be, you know, just patient and wait to see exactly what happens, because there's still a lot of time until the summer transfer window actually kicks off. Leon Muscat says, I think the score will be 4-2. Pixflick says, I think we should loan Deshillo. He could benefit from being away from the Rossoneri, and I agree, Gio, I'd play Antonelli any day. Do you think we will try to win Europa League next season or disregarded? Personally, I have not heard of a team that goes into a competition just to lose every game, so that's probably not going to be the case. I think Milan is definitely going to challenge for the Europa League. Look at Man United, for example. They have a lot bigger players than Milan at the moment, and they're in the Europa League semi-finals. You know, they could be in the same position that we're going to be next season with all the acquisitions and everything. So to disregard the Europa League, I definitely don't think so. I think that Milan will have to try super hard, actually, to just... It's like it's going to be a stepping stone for Milan, really, because if their ambition, if their goal is to reach the Champions League in the following season, I think the Europa League is going to be the perfect practice for them, the perfect stepping stone in order to make that transition to the Champions League later on. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't disregard it, and I definitely don't think that that Milan will be thinking of doing that. You know, they're going there to actually play and potentially, you know, go as far as possible. Some more updates. Inter have come back and they're now winning 2-1 in the game against Fiorentina. So 2 goals in 5 minutes there for Inter. I'm actually going to go watch that game right now, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in today for the match preview. As always, guys, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything going on at AC Milan. Tomorrow there will be the live stream watch along as usual 30 minutes before kickoff time. So make sure you tune in for that, and that will be followed by the match review. So I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow for those videos. Thank you so much once again for joining me. This has been Gio signing off from Rossoneri TV, and as always, Forza Milan.